to the first NAU Fest edition. From north to south, from east to west, all across the region, we are here today. And before we officially start the day with the activities, antes de que empecemos el día con las actividades, let me tell you more about JA. Vamos a platicar mucho más acerca de JA and why it's so important that we are here connected and the importance of this organization, and you are part of this. Junior Achievement is one of the biggest organizations in the world dedicated to inspire and prepare young people to be succeed in a global economy through entrepreneurship, final literacy, and different programs. JA activates youth for the future of work. JA Americas has presented in 25 countries in the region and benefits more than 1 million people every year. And it is one of the 6 NGOs that has more influence and impact in the world. Wow, great! So excited, right? Can you imagine all we have forward in these next 6 days? Woo! It will be simply amazing. Va a ser espectacular, va a ser innovador. Cuéntenos qué les parece nuestra nueva imagen, si es tu primer día. Y obviamente aquí en el chat nos pueden escribir. Remember that we have this chat that you can share more about your thoughts about the innovation of JA Americas. And as we mentioned in the previous day too, we cannot start without thank you. Yes, without thanking all the organizations that make this event possible for everyone. Yes, thank you, because with all your support for this sponsor, these young people can have a better present and a better future. Thank you so much. This Now Fest is happening because the trust of this company and the trust of you young people, you young women, and all they invest in the future the best as you can. Our sponsors are, thank you so much, gracias a PMIEF. Thank you so much to AWS. Thank you for Johnson & Johnson. Gracias to Avanade, Arcos Dorados, Alpine y Metal. So, well, now let's go. Let's go. Yes. To see what do you have in that chat, okay? Because today the topic is going to be sustentabilidad, sustainability, okay? Ahora, como lo hemos hecho en los días anteriores, as we have been doing it days before, I want that you write very short, que nos compartas con una descripción muy corta para ti qué es sustentabilidad. For you, what it is sustainability, okay? I really want to see you. I want to read you. Remember, there's no wrong question, okay? Just go forward. Ask whatever you want. Share whatever you feel like. We are together. We are united, okay? This is so important. Estamos unidos. Esto es súper importante. Recuerda, todas las preguntas son importantes. So, what do you think that sustainability means? That's the question that I want to read you guys at the chat. Te los quiero leer en el chat. And what do you need in your world for that? So before going into that, let me call Rodrigo Vasquez, our regional alumni president, and he is not even 30 years old. Can you imagine? Oh, wow. ¿Pueden creerlo? Rodrigo tiene apenas solamente 30 años. ¿Te sientes relacionado? Recuerda, de 16 a 30 años estamos aquí. Muy bien. Welcome, Rodrigo. Hello, how are you doing today? ¿Cómo estás, Rodrigo? Bienvenido.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for introducing me, Ileana. Well, as you told you, everyone, my name is Rodrigo Vasquez, and I am very happy to be here with all of you. A few years ago, I was also a participant in the JA Mexico programs, and today I work for the JA Americas office to bring more opportunities for the youth. Jay has been a great impulse in my life. Has pushed me throughout the world, throughout the region. I traveled to more than 24 countries, thank all to JA. In one of those missions to get more benefits to the youth, I met incredible, logical, lovely, and amazing persons, people out there. And today, I want to introduce you Junos Foundation, that it permit me to dream and to turn social fiction into reality. And that's why we are here today. I want to invite you to dream, to turn social fiction into reality. Once, as we dreamed that, for example, going to the moon, it was maybe, I don't know, a logical science and technology limitation, but we did it, right? Now we are traveling to the moon, we are traveling to Mars, and we turn science fiction into reality. And now I want to make you feel that you can turn social fiction into reality. You can dream in a world without social problems, social issues like hunger, poverty, and also inequality. And that's why Junos Foundation is today, because they are going to teach us with the conferences, with the keynote speakers, with the workshops in how to dream and how to change the perspective. I want to invite you to dream and wake up, because we want to get a world that is fair, cleaner, and accessible for all of us. Let me introduce you Callum Mackenzie, that is co-founder and director of Junos Thailand, a non-profit foundation to drive social business in Thailand and Southeast Asia. He is also managing partner of Women Options, a sustainable development consultancy and faculty of the Junos Master in Social Business and Entrepreneurship. And also, let me introduce you Shaseb Karil Islam, that is founder and managing director of YY Ventures, a social business company founded in Bangladesh to build, accelerate, and invest in social businesses that are moving towards a world of three zeros: zero poverty, zero unemployment, and zero carbon emissions. Please welcome them, and thank you so much.
Fantastic. And thanks so much, Rodrigo. And thank you so much, Elena, for having us here. And Shazib, thanks so much for joining as well. My friend, my colleague, my brother, how's everything with you?
It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. And Callum, so nice to see you after 1 week. 1 week ago, we were in Thailand together exploring the beauty, and now I'm back in business. I guess, well, health wise, we are doing fine. As a country, we are fighting many things.
Yeah, but I know you've got many things going on at the moment, but really appreciate you joining here. And also, I have to before we start, I have to say I'm very jealous of everybody who's listening because what a fantastic opportunity to be involved with Junior Achievement Americas with NAU Fest. And that beginning was fantastic. I'm feeling super energized. So
Yeah.
yeah, wonderful. But before we kind of spend too much time just chit chatting, Shazib, I'd love to know, you know, why are you actually interested in social business, in sustainability, in making a difference? Where did it all begin for you?
Well, friend, the beginning was an accident. I was 22-year old at still at university. A bunch of my friends they invited me to join them for a conference where I heard Professor Yunus speak, and then I was super inspired in terms of what I listened. He told us that our generation of young people was the most powerful generation in the history of mankind because we had the power of technology. Another thing that I really learned probably for the first time, the moment we talk about changing the world, we imagine that we have to do something really big. He said, start with one problem, try to solve a very small issue, right? I think this was just the beginning, but I grew up in rural Bangladesh seeing uneven development, which was a common problem, overall in the global south. And I thought social business was a tool that I really needed and that can really take me to my community and I could utilize my education and skills. So that was the beginning 9 years ago.
Hmm. That's I love this point that you mentioned. There's so many big things, and if we can start small. And I mean, just tell us what was that small thing that you really started with, and where did that and how did that have an impact on you?
Yeah, so the first thing was, of course, while at university we have had entrepreneurship and business related courses, but the society and the family, even friends, I love all of them, but everything that they really asked me to do is to become a professor or get a job in a big corporate because this was the only thing. But I thought in my heart, I am a community organizer. So I wanted to bring young people together. We used to go to slums in Dhaka and would just celebrate birthdays of kids who doesn't have a national identity card, you know. So small little things. For example, cleaning up the beach. By the way, Bangladesh has world's longest sea beach. So you'd, as friends, go there to enjoy the beauty and also run cleanup campaigns. Um, but then while growing up, I really have seen my mother and my family suffer due to lack of access to clean drinking water. I have seen many of my friends and their families struggle. They were farmers, but they were not really getting the proper market price. So I wanted to see what can be done. And by the way, I think at the time we had 50 plus business schools in Bangladesh, but there was not one that was offering a platform where young people could come and work with an idea. It was my German friends who said, Shazib, your idea sounds like an incubator. So that's how I started with my first business without knowing what an incubator was.
Yeah, I mean, it's I love this. I love this. So just really that proactive approach, and almost by accident taking an entrepreneurial approach in it. And I promise everyone we're going to jump in a moment into all the really interesting stuff that Shazib's up to and YY Ventures and this stuff. But before we get to that, I'm where do you see the world today, Shazib, and the things? I mean, I know we're having a lot of problems with climate change, with the war in Ukraine, with this crazy thing, COVID, that we've had for the last few years and everything that's come with that. But what's your kind of analysis of the situation and where we're at and the key takeaways?
Well, I so in mostly what I've seen over the past 2 years is how do we a conversation around how do we really build back better. But if you remember about this article that Professor Yunus wrote, where he said the pandemic gave us an enormous opportunity to design the world that we wanted to have, because previously we were always complaining, oh, we do not have access to clean water. Farmers doesn't get fair market price. Farmers doesn't know how to reach out to the customers. We have problems around healthcare. So this was the time when I saw most of the people, we were in lockdown and we really cared about our farmers because we need to eat, right? And then this was the time in my whole life when I saw we care deeply about our doctors and nurses because we need caregivers. So to me, I was very hopeful that we would start to redesign the world in a way that we always wanted to have. But my friend, the recent data that I have seen recently, the growth in advanced economies is projected to sharply, reduce from 5.1% in 2021 to 2.6% in 2022. And in the emerging market and developing economies, it's going to fall from 6.6% to 3.4%. That's not good. It means our countries and governments really need to act, put things together, and make things happen. And the war in between Ukraine and Russia, many people may think, oh, so I live in Bangladesh, this is not really going to hamper me. But that's not the case. So our recently in the past weeks we have seen the value of our currency has been declining, which means if if I'm buying things, or if I'm engaged in export or import related business, I'm always losing money, right? So that's the case even for our business. And on the other side, I think many developing nations will will really struggle with their inflation rates. And 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 on the other side, if you look at the recent trends, a bunch of guys in the world have made loads of money, while our middle class is really struggling, and a lot of people are really living at the verge of poverty. So that's no good sign. That's no good sign.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with everything you said there, and maybe just to add, even from a micro thing, but maybe everybody else can also very much relate to this as well. Through this pandemic, a lot of people kind of saved a lot of money, right? Everyone still kept their jobs, but were working from home, couldn't go out. So everybody, a lot of people saved up a lot of money. Those who are okay, and now is kind of going on extensive holidays or buying lots of new clothes. Now they've got a lot of freedom or these kind of things. But at the other side, there was a lot of people who really got pushed into homelessness, couldn't afford to eat, had all sorts of problems, having to do jobs which, they don't want to do. So you also, I mean, we're also seeing an inequality crisis, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, of course, of course. So the world is not equal. We cannot talk about it. Even the the wealth concentration, it's just increasing. In one hand, some people are getting richer and richer. On the other side, many people are really struggling to call it a day.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to be a bit mean here, but I'm going to put you on the spot, Shazib. What are you doing about it, mate? Like, I know we can't ask you to solve all the world's
Yeah,
problems, but tell us about
yeah,
YY Ventures. Tell us what actions you're
yeah,
taking to address some of
yeah.
this.
So thank you so much for the kind introduction at the beginning. So our friends who are joining us, maybe they have an understanding that we do incubation and investment for social businesses. So And so as an entrepreneur, I think I really took this time, this past 2 years, as an opportunity. So because we always talk about small actions, right? So over the last 2 years, we have supported more than 45 enterprises with training, mentoring, space. Callum, I don't know how to explain this to you. We even launched a co-working space within a pandemic, and you won't believe it, this is pretty much full. And whenever there were cases that people cannot come due to lockdown, we would turn this entire space into a 3D printing facility to produce face shields and masks. So we cannot just sit idle without solving or fighting these problems. And so and you already talked about climate change and its negative impact. Over the past 1 year, we experimented with two programs. One program was around healthcare, where we supported 6 enterprises to launch their projects in Bangladesh, social business project. We even invested in one of them. Also, the other one that we recently concluded with our friends at UNDP was around waste management and circularity issues, and not in Dhaka. It's in Cox's Bazar, next to the biggest refugee camp that we have in the world. And we are supporting one enterprise who are producing brick to build houses and infrastructure from waste, which is generally not accepted. But our friends, they are trying turning this waste into a blessing. And also, I really liked the conversation that we had at the beginning while introduction. Our friend was talking about social fiction. So Professor Yunus, he inspired us to imagine the world of a young person in the world of 2050. We are running two global competitions for last 9 months now. We have had more than 1,000 signups, and we are going to offer incubation and funding to the top 10 teams, which begins actually today. One of my friends is probably now running a workshop in another platform. Yeah, so these are some of the small actions that we are taking.
Fantastic. And just very briefly, tell us. I've got many questions to ask you off the back of this, but tell us quite shortly, where do you see yourself, YY Ventures, say in 5 years' time or in 2030? Up to you. Where are you kind of building towards with your work?
Yeah, thanks so much. So, if you were asking me this question 3 years ago, I would probably be struggling and I would have told you, Callum, I don't know. But now I think the vision is pretty clear to me. So, over the past 6 years, we were able to support 60 plus enterprises who created 1,300 jobs and improved the lives of 150,000 Bangladeshis, which means either they have access to better income, or they have access to better healthcare, or access to fair market prices. So over the next 8 years or so, we are going to invest. We want to invest in 100 social businesses who will improve the lives of 2 million people, hopefully not just in Bangladesh, but also in emerging markets. So the challenge is so big. If we really have to invest in like let's say 100 companies, we will have to work with 1,000 companies, right? And then maybe do scouting for 10,000. But I'm super excited because I love my team and I know everyone is super committed, and we are going to make it happen.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been privileged to follow this journey and see this progression for a number of years now, and I what I really love is you're building a platform for also for other people to take action as well, aren't you? So that the scale, the opportunity for scale there is absolutely huge, and I've got honestly, mate, I've got so many more questions I'd love to ask you about this, but there's one really important one. We've got literally thousands of really powerful, high potential young people joining from all over the Americas right now. So, what's some concrete actions they could take? What things can they do to make a difference, to build a more sustainable world? And then, maybe as a follow on to that, what actions do people like myself and yourself and JAA need to do to kind of support them to do that? So, two very big questions.
Yeah, thank you so much. But I think I would like to really give you simple answers. And few things that I have I have experienced throughout my 20s is, because while we grow up in emerging economies or developing countries, our families and then the society and the culture itself, it puts on certain expectations from you. They say, Callum, you finish your education, you be a top student, and you go and get this job. Or there are many people, actually, even families, who wants their children to leave the country to to other countries with better, fairer future. But my simple answer to this is, if we do not solve our own problems, who will? Right? So to do so, of course, it's really important that you have a big vision. And if you have a social business idea this evening, sorry, I'm quoting evening because now it's evening in Dhaka, you should not think next morning you will become Muhammad Yunus and you will win a Nobel Prize and you will create 30 plus companies. It doesn't happen overnight. So my suggestion is to find a problem that you deeply care about and try to solve it and try to be useful for one person. And then the second thing is, it's nice to have all these ideas and suggestions from many people and mentors and coaches. But I think it's really important that we really start listening to our heart, because heart is where hope is. And if if we start to solve our own problems, we can certainly create a better future. On the other side, while we think of starting something, we have many success cases, but we also have many stories of failure. So to them, I want to say that consider this as a learning. If you fail, you are still going to learn. But if you have this fear of failure and you do not want to start, this will never happen. So just start it, and start it now.
I love that. And you talked about Professor Eunice there, and I think a lot of the people listening are going to have the chance to hear from him on the main day. But probably the most important thing he ever told me was, he said, Callum, in the social business world, we're doers. We're not just talkers, we're doers. And that for me is something that in my work, I always have as that check. I always try and make sure that, am I actually doing something? If I'm going to say I'm going to do it, maybe I can't do it as fast as I want to, but I always try and make sure that I do it. And I think I love that that key point of yours. It's something that I definitely follow. And the other thing, just to build off what you were saying there, Shazib, as well, is that if we can help one person, right, the chances are that there's another person also in that same situation, right? So by
Right,
focusing on helping one person, then by default, you will also be able to help another person and another person and
of
another
course.
person after that. So it's not the idea that starting small is limiting you to starting small. It's just a way of
Right,
creating a focused action, a focused solution as well, and making sure you do actually do what you want to do. So
right.
Steve, tell us then, we're all talking about what these guys should do, but what do you think we should be doing to kind of help them, and what are we doing to help these guys take that action, take that first step?
Yeah, sorry, Callum. I completely forgot to answer this question.
No
So I
worries.
think people who are in their advanced stage, or who have seen success to some extent, no matter how you define it, or who are already running a business or a foundation or a fund or a corporation, there is there's always room to support somebody else grow. If you have skill and knowledge, this is something maybe somebody else needs. If you have money that we are looking to invest in, maybe there is a company that is trying to raise funding, because like the simple answer to this is, and always intergenerational partnership is so important. If we do not have it, we cannot make noise. It's like clapping with one hand. If we have somebody who has done it for 10 years and somebody who's just trying to start it, and if they work together, we can make a lot of noise and good impact.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a very very good point. That key action of collaboration. I like this phrase, intergenerational partnerships as
Yep.
well. And just quickly, I know we're a bit over time, but I'd also love to hear about 30 Club initiative as well.
Yep.
And is that something? Maybe you could briefly introduce what that is, and then also how people listening can get involved too.
Yep. Thanks so much for asking this question. So the 30 Club is an initiative towards achieving Professor Yunus's vision of creating a world of three zeros, zero net carbon emissions, zero unemployment by unleashing entrepreneurship in all, and zero wealth concentration to end poverty for good. And so what happens is just five young people from anywhere in the world can come together and create a club, and each club has a key person and a deputy key person and three members. And they together can say, all right, I do not like all these challenges that we have around climate change, or somebody may say, oh, I want to do something around art or music. So do whatever action you want, do it independently, and do it together with four other friends, and start really, really small. So we launched the initiative during last Social Business Day, which is exactly 11 and a half month ago, and we will turn 1 year soon, I think in 2 weeks. And we have seen young people from 22 countries creating 260 plus 30 clubs. And we have also seen many 30 clubs coming together under one umbrella. For example, in Chittagong, they 10 plus clubs, actually I think 25 clubs came together, and they said we want to take our small actions together for a bigger goal. And then they created another umbrella which we call 30 Circle. And so it's a platform for young people up to the age of 35. But if you're 36-year old and if you still want to get involved, you can become a 3Z support person, and support another club grow. This is where intergenerational partnership come in. You don't have to be a guru or an expert or anything. You just need to be willing to do so. If you are an organization, want to support young people, work with them, you can also get enlisted with us as a 3Z support organization. We are going to have our second 30 Club convention in 2 weeks, and I invite everybody to check out 30.club website for more information.
Fantastic, and it's yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of this initiative as well, and it's a great opportunity not only for young people to network together and mobilize together, but to, as you say, also to get that mentorship support from different organizations and different
Yep.
people around the world. And I mean, it's I'm looking at the time, and I'm seeing that we're definitely run a little bit over. So Shazib, give us one final comment. You know, we talk about building a new civilization after COVID, about seeing a better world. So and also Rodrigo, right, talked about social fiction. Imagine if you imagine something, then you can actually take action to make it happen. So give us a dream for the future, for a sustainable world that you have, just to finish us off.
Well, I think the easy way to look at it is what I can do as an individual contributor to the world. Small acts can really change the way we look at it. For example, we talk about carbon emission and all the negative impacts that we have. One simple alternative that we can have is plant trees. It's super simple, doesn't cost a lot of money, and you can become a contributor of a 3-0 world. And another thing is, and also Professor Yunus talks about it all the time, dream for a world that really doesn't let you sleep, that makes you work really, really hard.
I love that. I love that. What a fantastic way to end this. And Shazib, you know, it's a shame we're not still on the beach together doing this chat over a cocktail. But it's always a pleasure to chat to you, mate, and thanks so much for joining. And honestly, everybody listening here, you've got friends in Shazib and I and in the Eunice network. You've got incredible opportunities through being part of such a wonderful organisation as Junior Achievement Americas and JAA Worldwide. It's the world is literally your oyster, and you've got a lot of people here wanting to help you, to support you, to take that first step to make positive change in the world. And also, you've got a lot of other people here also in a similar positions wanting to do the same thing as you as well. So, what an opportunity! And honestly, when you've got a chance to learn from people like Shazib and all the other wonderful speakers at this fantastic event, NAU Fest, then literally, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want to do. So fantastic. So Shazib, my friend, thank you so much for joining. Rodrigo, thank you so much for the opportunity to join this incredible audience, this fantastic event. And I'll hand back over to you and to introduce the next steps in these fantastic workshops coming up.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for having
much.
me.
That room was amazing to listening to you because I've been reading a lot about the 3.0 world that we are trying to create. That it is amazing, right? Because what we have to do now is like rethink the things that we have to do in the future, because and right now as well, because we are always saying like, okay, maybe tomorrow, maybe I don't know, 1 month, 2 months, or maybe the next company that I will create, it will be more sustainable with the I don't know, with the I don't with the, for example, ecosystem, or these kind of things, right? But what I am pretty sure is that we as a youth, we have to wake up, right? We have to wake up, we have to dream as well, maybe dream and having these kind of dreams while we are wake up or waking up, because what we have to do is deliver a world, deliver best companies, deliver projects that can add and that can, like share value to other, maybe persons, people that are out there, that they don't have the capability, that they don't have, maybe they're lucky. So like to get a world that is more equality, more sustainable, and also more fair for all. So thank you so much for this. I know that our youth is super grateful. Sabemos, jóvenes, que estamos súper agradecidos por esta conferencia. Tenemos que despertar. We have to wake up and we have to dream. So thank you so much, Carol. Thank you so much, Athib. And now I have to go and present the workshops. So guys, uh, what we have to do right now is please go to the workshops. I know that some of you selected, and please just go to the special chat. We will have 4 amazing workshops that we will give you more information on how to do the things, because I know that all of us, we want to change something, and we are super empathized with the people, with all we have around us. But please, we have to know how to do the things, because if we don't know how to do the things, it will be a little bit complicated to evolve what we are trying to do. So please be open. Please share all your questions, concerns, doubts within the workshop. And I know that you will rock, because I know that all the attendants we have here within the NAU Fest are people that want to change the world. We are change makers, and now with this sustainability part that we have in our lives, we have to get a better world and a new world. So thank you so much for this conversation. Thank you so much, guys, for joining so early in their countries. So let's go to the workshops and enjoy the NAU Fest. Thank you so much.